Okay, so you went out, you did a photo shoot, you captured some pretty dope images, you got them all cleaned up and edited, and now you're ready to release them to the world and make your mark as a photographer. But it's still that one thing that you're missing, and that's a photo logo. So now you're saying to yourself, how do I create a photo logo? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Adobe Photoshop. We're going to open up Photoshop and we're going to create a new project. Okay, the first custom project by default is 2560 by 1440. That's fine. Okay, scroll over here to your right, change the color to, let's just say, black. We want to do a black background. So we're going to take this little, this color spectrum right here, and we're going to scroll it all the way down to the bottom right corner and get the blackest black that we can get at the bottom. Then we're going to click OK. Okay, so now that we have our black as our background, we're going to click Create. Okay, so now we have our black background. All right, so the first thing that we want to do now is grab our text tool right here. And now that the text tool is open up, we want to, say make the pixels about 85 high. So, all right, we got 85. So I'm just going to pick any random name, for a photo logo name, just to show you guys for an example. And let's just call this, we're going to say our name is Mary Jane Photography, but right now we're just going to click Mary Jane. So we're going to click enter. We got it entered. Okay, we're going to click on the screen, right click, the screen is open. All right, so we're going to grab our move tool. We're going to move it down to the bottom right corner for now. It's not going to stay there, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to come back to the text tool and I'm going to highlight this layer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up to the top and I'm going to click on here. This is going to open up your fonts. So whatever font you might want, you can change the font to whatever you want. So I'm just going to kind of stick with the font that I already have. So I like this one, Brilliant Signature. You guys can use this one if you want. I kind of like fancy cursive looking fonts because it looks pretty dope. Okay, now we need to open up another layer with our text tool, which we already have selected. Then we're going to click on the right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to type in photography. Okay. And after we type in photography, we're going to click on the screen. Okay, so we're going to highlight this and we're going to move it over to our right corner on the lower side, just like we did with the Mary Jane. And with it highlighted, with our text tool, go back to the text tool, highlight it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to change the font. So let's change the font to something basic. Okay, so we're going to go with this font right here, Andel Mono. So we're going to click enter. All right, so now that the font is there, we're going to come back up here to change the size. So let's change it to let's try 18. That's too small. All right, so let's try 30. Okay, 30 is a little bit better. So now we're gonna grab our move tool to the left and we're gonna move Mary Jane to the center. And then we're gonna hold down shift and grab the top right corner or the bottom left corner, but I like to grab the top right corner, and we're gonna stretch it out to blow it up a larger scale size. Then we're gonna move it back to the center, right there where you see the purple line at, so we know it's centered. Okay, then we're gonna hit return. Then we're gonna grab the photography and we're gonna move it to here, just underneath the Jane part. You can put it wherever you want. I'm just gonna put it here, and I kind of like the way that looks. So now that we got that, set up the way that we want it. You also can change the colors on these if you guys want, but I'm just going to leave it white. But let's just say you wanted to change the color. So I'm gonna grab my text tool, I'm gonna highlight this. You come up here to this square right here and you click on it, and you can change the color of your font. So let's say I want Mary Jane Photography to be red. You know, let's just say I want it to be green. Say I want it to be blue. That's how you change the color of it. But you know, just for the sake of this photo, just for the sake of this tutorial, we're just gonna leave it white. So I'm gonna click OK. So I got my color. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see what it look like without the background, because you gotta create a PNG file. Okay, so it kind of blends in with the PNG, but without the background there, you know, it still shows up. Maybe I should have chose a white background with black writing or whatever, but you know, like I said, this is just for the sake of the video. So now what I want to do is I want to come over here to the bottom right where you see me scrolling at, and I'm going to take the Mary Jane, which is highlighted already, and then I'm going to hold down Command on the Mac, and I'm going to highlight Photography. Now I got Mary Jane Photography highlighted. I'm going to right click and I'm going to scroll down to Create Smart Object. Okay, so now what that does is it allows me to grab the move tool and move the whole thing all together, so that everything is all together, because it's all going to be one logo. So I'm going to put it back in the center, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export it to my desktop. But before I export it to my desktop, I want to take away this black background layer by coming over here to the bottom right where the eye is, and then you just click on the eyeball and it disappears. So you come up here to the top right, you come up here to the top left, click on File, go to Export as PNG. When you go to Export as PNG, you choose where you want this file to export to. So I'm gonna just choose desktop. Okay, then I'm gonna name it Mary Jane logo. And then I'm gonna hit enter, return. So now that I hit return, I'm gonna go to my desktop, and it's right here on my desktop, and it says Mary Jane logo. Okay, so when you're ready to put your photo logo on a photograph, you open up Photoshop and you put your picture into Photoshop. So I'm just gonna grab a picture, you know, from my Lightroom. Okay, so I'm gonna take this picture and I'm gonna dump it into Photoshop. Okay, so now that I have the picture in Photoshop, I'm going to go to my desktop and grab the logo and then drag it and drop it anywhere I want onto the photo and release it. So you see it's on the photo now. So now I have to resize it. So what I'll do is I'll hold Shift and I'll grab one of these corners and I'll drag it to the left or right or up and down or whatever. And let's just say I want it about here. Okay, so now that I have it here, I'm going to hit return. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my move tool and I'm going to move it to where I want it on the photo. So now that I have it where I want it on the photo, I'm going to hit return again. And it's just that simple. Now the only thing you have to do is just export the photo. So we're going to export this photo to the desktop, but this time not as a PNG. We're gonna go to Export As. We're gonna come over here to the top right where it says Format. We're gonna take it off of PNG and we're gonna put it on JPEG. Then we're gonna come down here to Export All. And then we're gonna choose, you know, our location where we want it to go, which I like the desktop, so we put it on desktop. And then we name it. Let's just name it Mary Jane Photo, and then we hit save, and now we go to our desktop, the photos on the desktop, and we open it up, and here you have it. That's the photo. It's that simple. So if you like this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe, comment, And if you want more videos like this, you know, let me know, and you know, I'll do more tutorials. But it's been real. See you guys next time. Hope you liked it.